Hey, Mark's watching MTC Media here. So we know we're going to get the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks, and this is going to be an interesting series. But besides the whole, can Knicks fans get tickets in Philadelphia with the whole, oh, we're only going to sell tickets by area code or zip code or however they're going to try to do, which by the way never works, because what ends up happening is the resellers get all the tickets and they're going to sell them to the New York people anyway, just at a premium. And those New York people, those fans generally, they're gonna pay for it. But that's neither here nor there. As far as some of the differences for the Sixers that will be in this series as opposed to the series that they played against the Celtics is you just won't get as many bailout possessions. The Celtics, and this is not to be critical of Joe Mazzulla, but their game plan on offense is pretty straightforward. And their reliance on the three-point shot means that they're saying we're going to throw away X percentage of possessions, whether it's because it's a quick three, a transition three, wherever the case may be. We kind of have that baked in, where New York is not going to bail you out that way. New York, yeah, it could be a couple here and there, and then next thing you know, they're going to slow it down, and it's going to be Brunson, it's going to be Cat, it's going to be something to that tune, which is very different than what happened in the Boston series. Now, that doesn't mean that Philadelphia cannot adjust to that, or they don't have answers for that, or they don't have strategy for that. It's just to tell you that this is going to look very different than it did against Boston. The other thing is that New York will make Philadelphia work on defense. They will try to leverage different type of catches. You're going to have someone on Mitchell Robinson to keep him off the offensive boards. That's just taking away from what you can do schematically defensively. Like, Philadelphia didn't have to worry about that with Boston. They didn't have a guy where they said, well, you know what, we have to pay attention on the defensive end to keep this guy off of the boards. Well, with Mitchell Robinson, that's what he's there for. And so he is going to be someone who ends up on their scout, and someone that you have to pay attention to, and someone that you have to draw a resource to. And again, that's just one of the differences. And the pace. Again, New York will not necessarily always accommodate Philadelphia's pace. Now, you can say, well, Philadelphia loves, if they could, they would only play 7 and then get to 9 when you add in spot minutes. That is true. So you can say, well, why would Philadelphia mind that? Because it might help them that there was times where you could see that they were getting fatigued against Boston, and Boston again kind of bailed them out with shot selection. But here's where I will say, if you do that, the flip side is that Philly needs those easy baskets. There's no doubt about it. Now, Maxey, to me, is clearly an advantage for Philadelphia because of his quickness. I don't think New York has anyone that can stay with that quickness. But you start getting a slow down game, how does that impact Edgecombe? VJ still is better in the open court. I think he does a great job playing off of those guys. Certainly, I didn't see that coming out of Baylor, but the way he's kind of come and adjusted his game and knowing where his strengths are and how to, implement them sometimes patiently has been a joy to watch, to be frank with you. But I do think that it takes away a little bit from what he wants to do. It's just Philly got to live off of having the pace, having Boston quicken the pace when Philadelphia needed an easy basket, but Philly being able to control the pace once they took the lead and leverage their advantages that they had on Boston. And with New York, those things just aren't necessarily there in the same way. So I do like if New York slows it down, if they pound it in, if they use Cat, because we got to talk about New York and what they tend to go away from that could help them. There is no reason why in the fourth quarter that the Knicks go away from Cat the way that they do. And I think that hurts them. I think that made the Atlanta series harder than what it had to be. They have to leverage Cat inside this series. He is and could be the difference maker in this, because you can say, yeah, we got Brunson, but you can see Tyrese Maxey almost canceling that out. We got OG. OG has been terrific on both ends of the floor, but you know what? They might have a player, maybe PG plus VJ kind of cancels that out. And then you have Embiid out there, which is a wash because you know he's the better of it. But then you can throw Cat there. And that's where Cat's inside out needs to be used. The Knicks need to pressure. They need to pressure Philly in the paint beyond Mitchell Robinson's offensive rebounds, beyond Brunson trying to back his guy in. It has to be, you have to constantly pound at them. On top of that, when Mitchell Robinson isn't in, and let's just say Cat's playing the 5 and Embiid is in, now all of a sudden you pull Embiid from the basket and you put him in action because he has to stay with it. He can't do what he wants to do, which is going to drop. That's what he wants to do every time, going to drop. So if, again, you putting him in action and it's Cat, you can't go in the drop. Those are the type of the things that Mike Brown has to take advantage of. What I do know is this series is not going to be 4-0. I think this series is going to be exciting. The NBA playoffs, the first round has delivered. I mean, absolutely positively has delivered. Not that it shocks me that it's delivered, but it has delivered. And this Knicks-Philadelphia series, man, it's going to be a good one. This is Marks Washington, MTC Media.